Good morning and welcome to Cheche, the program where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV. I'm Uduaka Mimo. Presidential candidates are receiving their nomination papers from the International Election and Boundaries Commission for a second day today. And the first to get the IEBC's clearance is our guest, whom we're expecting this morning, Martha Karua, the flag bearer for NARC Kenya. She's outlined 6 policy pillars she would concentrate on if she were to win the responsibility of governing us. But while we wait for her, I do have in the studio with me our regular panel, Citizen TV's Mutegi Njau and political analyst David Makali. And so we know that the presidential nominations carry on today. Is there any significance to this event? Does this mark the start of the final race, the final rush rather, because it is a rush, to State House?
Not a rush, actually.
First of all, it's not international IEBC.
The independent. Thank you, Mutegi. Thank you.
Yeah,
my international background sometimes crops up every so now and again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this, of course, is like blowing the whistle for the election campaign proper, which starts tomorrow after everybody else has submitted their papers. We can now clearly tell that after today, we will no longer have aspirants, but we'll have candidates who are validly nominated to run for president or, you know, whatever positions in the next 2 days for governors, senators, and county reps. This really is going to be the beginning of the contest. For those who have been campaigning before, as Paul Muita said yesterday, you were practicing. So now we go to the field proper. And we expect to see those who have been practicing like Muita. And somebody else who came on TV last night, strange guy, who says he's confident everybody's going to vote for him. You know, that guy had me laughing. Out of the blues, today, somebody's going to present papers to you in the list. I don't know, Mutegi, he was your teacher or you taught in the same school in your previous life?
In my previous life, I don't met this guy. Never know him from Adam.
Okay, fine. Hang on. Why are you calling him a strange guy? Why are you referring to him as a guy, as if you just think he's totally
It's just out of
irrelevant?
the blue. It's out of the blue. A man who was a teacher, then turned businessman, is from where?
I don't even know. You know, I couldn't. No, he says he support, and his claim to this ticket is the fact that he has been a teacher in 2 great schools in Nairobi, famous. I'm waiting to see his students and how many they are, so and whether they're going to vote for him.
If you are going to be voted to be president of the Republic of Kenya by your student, or your business colleagues, or people you serve in your business, then that will be miracles.
Well, there's opportunity for him, but the numbers really. I mean, I keep wondering, even as today
So
we conclude the nominees who are going on the paper.
What do you mean, what opportunity is there? That man just want to make a name. He want to appear on TV.
What?
He want to be seen, he appear in the press. If without doing that, he cannot be anything.
Well, let's see how many people he
that's all
brings
he
in. The thing is, I think as somebody said on this show once, some people are in the race to win, and some people are in the race to compete for the,
I don't even think that one is that.
competition. You don't have to win a competition in a competition.
I don't
So
think is that win. To me, the reason why he's appearing there is just because he wants to appear in the press. Because that's the only thing.
But isn't that rather cynical? Because
Yeah.
it seems as if you're suggesting that unless a person is well known to the nation or has a track record within politics, they have no business aspiring to get into State House.
You must make an effort. You just don't come last minute and then say you want to be president of Kenya, and having been a teacher, nothing else, nothing national. How is it? You see, the gentleman who is now walking, Jeffer. At least that one is doing something about it.
Yes.
He started by coming here to say, I want to be president. Then he realized being a president is a difficult thing.
Yes.
So he walked from Mombasa to talk about peace. And they're now walking from Nairobi to Mandera to talk about peace, to raise signatures and make money. And raise money to... That man is doing something. This teacher,
yes,
or the former teacher businessman, apart from saying, I'm running, what else have he done?
Well, you need to maybe ask him what he has been doing, but he said the campaign starts tomorrow. But he's not the only one. And the realistic candidates, some of them were here earlier. I'm really waiting to see my friend Kingwa Kamenju,
I
don't know when she's presenting her paper. She has not bowed out officially. She has not joined any alliance, by which means she has sacrificed
From
her
the time she
desire.
talks about panties, I think she
No,
From the time she talks about panties, I think she feels out of the limelight.
She lost the party because the party on which she sought to run for president, which was the Labour Party of Kenya, joined CORD. And when they did that, she said, I'm not part of it. So I don't know whether she found any other party to host her. But I'm not seeing her on the list of people submitting papers for the rest. So, meaning she changed her mind quietly. But she would have said bye to her supporters and, those who were expecting her
there's
to
probably still an
present.
opportunity.
Did she have any supporters?
Well, I mean, she must have a supporter. Or maybe she didn't get enough seconders, because you need 2,000 signatures of people seconding.
Okay. But do you think that we in the media are also at fault? For instance, Paul Mwite being referred to as the forgotten presidential candidate. There's a question here about the others who are running. Is this a media creation?
Look, even in America, there are many people who run for president. Normally there are about 6, but you only know the Republicans
And the Democrats.
and and those are the ones that the press is interested in.
So we take our
Those
cue from
others,
them.
Nobody ever knows about them. Maybe the newspapers in their villages and their cities, they write about them. But when it comes to national limelight, you will not see them be involved in the presidential debate.
Okay.
And they're there.
Okay, but I'm asking you about Kenya, though, and the fact
that's what I'm saying.
we have, people who are presumed
Let's talk about
to be
my good friend, Mr. Mwite, Honorable Mwite, very shrewd lawyer, very nice, has struggled for this country, but he has been quiet all through. He said yesterday that the campaign starts next week. But if you look at his efforts, he was not talking about being president until yesterday.
You see,
Safina party, we didn't see people running when you saw the list of governors and the list of women representatives. Did you see Safina somewhere? These are the Safina candidates. How many? That's the way you know that that's a political party. That person has systems, has infrastructure throughout the country. Seeing how many governors are they fielding, how many women representatives, how many MPs are running through Safina. That's the only way you know, now this guy is serious. This party is a serious party. But if you see, there are only 2 guys, or even at Communist Party, he has got a party called Kenda.
yeah.
He fielded some candidates last time. Now I understand he's running, I've seen his posters, he's running in Westlands. But I've not seen other people in Kenda. So Kenda party is just a thing.
Well, I'm sure there are people who will show up on the final list of candidates on those parties, because people have quietly been slipping in there, getting the nomination certificates. About the forgotten candidates, Woodwork, I think there is a habit in this town by politicians to think that the campaign platform is actually the media. So that if you're not covered by the media, you are being undermined, or you're not getting a fair chance to campaign. But you see,
I was arguing about that, the same Professor Kiapi.
Kiapi has been harping on that matter for a while.
Even wrote to the media council, I'm not getting a fair coverage.
Yeah.
But surely, true media helps. But newspapers don't vote, TV does not vote. Talk to the people.
Yeah.
Go to the grassroots. Talk to the people.
Oh, but they talk to the people through the media, though. We have a reach that extends way beyond, any sort of rallies that you could mobilize on the ground if you were to travel around the country. And somebody like Martha Karua says that she's been around the country, speaking to everyone, covered more ground than any of the other presidential candidates. So the media still is crucial. As you say, the presidential candidate, Ole Kiapi, constantly complaining about his portrayal in the media.
But there's something about this media and the campaigns. I do not think that any serious candidate wants to peg his or her campaign essentially on the media. Because the media has its own editorial preferences, even inclinations.
It sounds almost as if you're saying that the media is biased when you say editorial preferences. What's the difference between that and bias?
And they have a right to get biased if they can so clearly state so. There's nothing wrong with the media saying we prefer this candidate, or we think this candidate doesn't make sense.
If a candidate is at Hurpak with hundreds of thousands of people, and the other one is Jivajin Kandan, obviously will cover them. But when you come to prioritizing stories, the person with more people is the one who gives you audience,
Yeah, yeah.
who gives you readership.
Even if those people are rented, rent a mob.
Okay, right.
But
But
also
the thing is,
rent.
how do we know they've been rented?
Exactly.
The
Why-
thing is
and
we-
if they're rented, why
If
don't
they've been bussed
That-
in
this
and
is
paid
politics.
to show up.
If somebody is going to rent a ground, rent also. Because you want to be a president.
If that is the context, if the
that-
context is about renting,
Yeah,
we
the-
compete
rentals.
with the renting
Yeah.
rentals.
You remind me of a long time ago when people went to Matatu, people went to Jomo Kenyatta. I told them, bus people, people are bringing so many Matatus, and the buses are not getting passengers. Kenyatta told them, but this is a contest. If your buses are not making money, go and buy Matatus also.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing that it's very controversial to say that all candidates must be allocated equal coverage or time. The media does not create events to cover, nor does it create interesting stuff to cover about you.
But it
Look at it this
chooses
way.
which
Yesterday,
events it
Ole
covers.
Kiapi launches his bid. Then he goes to Kamukunji to, visit the artisans, people doing Juakali work there. Creative thing to do. Musalia Mudavadi launches his bid and goes to Jivanji to address a huge crowd. Which of these events captures the imagination of town? That is one of the guidelines that you'll use as a journalist to cover the event. What is the phenomenon? The phenomenon is more people gathered because they are more consequential, regardless of how significant, in terms of policy and idea it is to go and visit the hard-working Kenyans in Kamukunji. It's about phenomenon, sensation, what is attracting more interest. And then if you give him 2 minutes of coverage and you give Musalia 4 minutes of coverage because there was more activity at Musalia's event, you are accused of being biased.
Look at it this way.
Isn't it holding the media
even
to-
Professor Kiapi is running it.
Yes.
When they talk,
Madam Winnie.
I've not seen her talk anywhere. If she talk today, if she appear there like running it, then we know who she is. But as of now, we just know she's there.
Well, maybe she's been talking and you have not seen her talking. That's what they will tell you.
Why
that
would
maybe they
the
invited
camera
media to-
why would the camera people not, if she talks great things, want to edit her out?
Yeah. I think that for me, Woodwork, the thing is this. It's not about the media. It's not the job of the media to create people. You have to create yourself and create significance and space to attract the attention of the media.
And even then, the presidential aspirants or candidates, they have their own spring doctors who create those things that Makali is talking about, so that they make you good. They are called spring doctors. They spin you. They promote you.
They improve your
They
image.
improve your image.
But what about the argument? And several of our viewers have asked about this. You see this across social media. What about the argument that a lot of our politics has to do, focuses too much on personality as opposed to policy, which of course is what we're hoping to discuss with the Honourable Martha Karua when she gets here. That divide, that politics in Kenya is not about policies.
No. It's about policy. But, policy must be made interesting because the ordinary reader, the ordinary viewer of the media is interested in something that is exciting, beyond the hard facts. You must package your policy in an interesting manner that I, as a journalist, can tell. But if you come here and give me statistics, facts upon fact, the ordinary person out there, it's difficult for them to comprehend and break these facts down to their essence. Talk about the bigger picture and how it fits into their lifestyles. But if you come here and trot out, foreign policy, local policy, that is important because you will be, expected to implement and help to implement those things because that's what the country needs. But you have to have a fishing, something that you're using to fish supporters, which is where the phenomenon of sensation, of showbiz comes in politics, and the jokes that people are deriding about others. People are excited to hear those things because they connect with the audiences.
Mutegi, what do you think?
Even if you have policies, you must initiate them in a sexy way, in a way that people appreciate.
Clothe them nicely for us
nicely.
to look at them.
If you come here with that like he says, Kidero type statistics, Kidero has every figure in his head. Even Moi used to have many figures in his head. But will people grasp that? Even if you write a news story, for instance, you are writing a story in a newspaper or for TV, and you put all those statistics there, when people go through them, will they remember? They want like Gilu's 5 things.
Yeah.
What are those 5? Or Martha Karua's 6
policy pillars.
pillars. Yeah, that's not what people want to listen to. That's what attracts. That's why you get the quotes. You know, but if you bring a long stuff that nobody's interested in, this kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
And it's proven, Woodwork, that you know, there are people who blame the media for, you know, politicizing everything, or being too high on politics and less on substance. But the truth is that when you give the same public the substance, the hard policy things, nobody wants, I mean, the majority are not interested.
Okay.
I've run a newspaper. Publish a serious story, a medical discovery in this country that is going to stop, for example, cancer. And then publish a good story about, some campaign in Udhiru or Dagoretti. The newspaper that has the serious story will sell half the newspaper that has a serious story.
Well, hopefully our viewers will weigh in on that discussion on whether they're more concerned about policy than personality. We understand that Martha Karua is in the building, so we'll take a break and allow her to join us on the set. You're watching Cheche live on Citizen TV. Our guest joining us after the break will be the Honourable Martha Karua. We're discussing her 6 policy pillars. If you've got any questions for her, you can SMS 2442 or tweet Cheche_TV.